Right now at 6, Mother Nature gives firefighters a big assist in eastern Oregon. We are live from near the fire line.
A protest against police violence ends with 9 people arrested and facing criminal charges. What prompted that demonstration?
And the wait is almost over. A preview of Friday's Olympic opening ceremony in Paris, now less than 24 hours away. First at 6, firefighters in eastern Oregon are finally getting a big break thanks to some rain that's allowed them to go on offense against at least one major fire. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Right now, there are 5 fires burning in Oregon that have each charred at least 100,000 acres. They are the Lone Rock, Monkey Creek, Falls, Cow Valley, and Durkee fires. Together, they've scorched more than 750,000 acres of grassland and forest east of the Cascades. The good news on the Durkee fire is that it is now 20% contained. We have live team coverage this evening with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino tracking the latest conditions.
But first to Alma McCarty live in Huntington in Baker County, not far from the largest wildfire in the country. Alma, looks pretty windy where you are.
David, Christine, very windy out here today. I'll tell you first that I-84 traffic there has been moving all day. That's different from yesterday when things were a little touch and go because flames were getting so close to the road that ODOT had to shut portions of it down. You mentioned the wind, very, very windy right now, but the weather conditions today have made it possible for crews to get closer to the fire and make progress. From Baker City down to Ontario, hundreds of firefighters tackle the Durkee fire along I-84. On Thursday, many focused their efforts in the northwest part after heavy winds Wednesday.
The fuels burning here are a mixture of grass, sagebrush, juniper, and some mixed conifer at the higher elevations.
South of the more than 280,000 acre fire, the largest in the country, teams assemble and coordinate here in Vail.
We've had extreme winds on this fire, which have caused extreme fire behavior on this fire.
Ryan Sullivan is Operations Section Chief. Despite the fire's growth, he's feeling more confident today with more favorable conditions for crews.
Fire behavior is moderated in places where the rain hit. So now we're actually going interior slightly off the I-84 freeway, going in a little bit closer where it's safe to do so.
This is a very large footprint of a fire. Obviously, it's the biggest one, like they said.
Anthony Foster with the State Fire Marshal's Office is one of the many focused on protecting structures from the flames.
So in Huntington, not specifics, but roughly 300 some homes in there. So that was kind of our focus yesterday.
His team will stay on to contain and fight the fire until it's under control enough for local agencies to take over.
It's early so far, July, and you'll see us moving from fire to fire, all the teams. And so if you see us leaving an area, we've left it in a place where we can say, we think they can handle it, and we're moving on to the next area to help.
All right, this fire is at, as you mentioned, 20% containment tonight, and that containment is along the south part, the containment line. Still, though, a lot of work to do. You feel these winds, you can see the winds. So obviously, they've got some challenges ahead of them in what is likely going to be one of Oregon's largest wildfires in state history. And because there are still so many crews out here, fire officials want folks who are driving along this I-84 corridor to be especially cautious and aware of that. For now, live in Huntington, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Yeah, important information for people passing through. Thank you, Alma. Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino now in the Weather Center. Matt, hoping for better conditions for those fire crews out there as we head into the weekend.
Yeah, we certainly had it last night with the rainfall that fell, and it was fairly impressive from the thunderstorms. When we get this much rain, they were really happy to see it. That Morgan Mountain report, that's very close to, if not contained within, the Durkee fire footprint. Blue Canyon over ½ inch, farther west Prairie City at over ½ inch, and up in Union, Oregon, they had 1-inch size hail. That came with rain too. So again, that was all last night. There's been no such luck today with rain, but even though it's windy, at least over on the microwave tower fire, as viewed from our camera in the Dalles, it's not producing any smoke at all right now. The wind's still gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour near the gorge. We look at some of the other wind reports around the region, and they're still pretty gusty surrounding Mosier. 23 miles an hour east Hood River, 19 miles an hour in Rowena, and then you saw those gusty winds down where Alma is. So many fires burning across Oregon right now. We'll show the smoke from it a little bit later on, but still, there's going to be a lot of work to do to keep these things under control. Now, as far as the smoke goes, we're going to get a taste of it. Well, not literally. We won't taste it. You might smell it, but it's all going to be elevated as the smoke wafts westward over the Portland area tomorrow. But it's only for a day, then it gets pushed back to the east as the westerly winds pick up this weekend. Air quality is good in the western valleys, and I think it'll remain that way. So windy tonight in the gorge and over in eastern Oregon, like Alma showed you in her live shot. Less wind tomorrow, so a little bit of a break there for firefighters. That's good news, but more hot, windy weather coming our way this weekend. Guys?
Hey, we'll take the break while we can get it. Thank you, Matt. Stay with KGW for continuing coverage throughout wildfire season. We have a running list of all the major fires up at KGW.com. You'll also be able to find updated info as well as links to evacuations and closures.
Let's get to some of the other headlines that we're following for you. In Portland, 3 people were hospitalized after 2 shootings. The first happened just before 7:30 last night in the Park Rose Heights neighborhood. Police found 2 people shot near Northeast Fargo and 105th. They got taken to the hospital. Police say it looks like they shot each other. Then around 1:15 this morning, officers responded to a reported shooting in downtown Portland at Southwest Taylor and 13th, just off I-405. Police say they found a man who'd been shot. He is expected to survive. No word on any arrests.
Authorities in Washington County are looking for a person who set a car on fire in a Beaverton driveway overnight. This was just before 4 this morning on Rockport Lane near Baseline Road and 205th. Deputies say the caller told dispatchers they saw a person in all black clothing running away. Fire crews were able to stop the flames from spreading to a nearby home. Anyone with information is asked to call the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
Oregon health officials are dealing with a measles outbreak, the most cases the state has seen since 2019. While the measles vaccine is widely available, the Oregon Health Authority says several unvaccinated people have been diagnosed in the past 6 weeks. That includes 5 in Clackamas County, 8 in Marion County, and 1 in Multnomah. 2 of those people were hospitalized and released.
Measles is one of the most contagious viruses that we know of, and it spreads through the air. So even, after a person leaves, an enclosed space for about 2 hours, measles can still be in the air. It's spread airborne.
Health officials say the best way to stay safe is to get vaccinated. Marion County is planning to put on some immunization clinics.
And the proposed $24 billion merger of Kroger and Albertsons has now been delayed as multiple legal challenges play out. The AGs of several states, including Oregon, have joined a Federal Trade Commission lawsuit seeking to block the merger. Plus, Colorado's Attorney General also sued in state court there. Today, the companies agreed to pause their merger plans until after that case goes to trial in late September. If approved, the merger would involve Fred Meyer's, Safeway, Albertsons, and QFC stores in the Northwest, among other brands. Now at 6, a group protesting a deadly police shooting in Illinois vandalized the Portland Police Bureau's North Precinct last night.
Portland police arrested 9 people. Most were charged with trespassing and interfering with a police officer. Graffiti made up the bulk of the damage. People protested in response to a white sheriff's deputy in Illinois who shot and killed Sonia Massey, a black woman, inside her home after she'd called 911 for help. That deputy has been fired and charged with murder. Both Portland's mayor and police chief condemned the protest damage. The mayor also called the shooting of Massey shameful. In California today, the governor ordered state agencies to remove homeless encampments. It's the first of its kind move to come out of last month's Supreme Court ruling, giving cities more power when responding to homelessness.
Let's bring in Blair Best live in downtown Portland. So Blair, what do folks in Oregon think about the governor's move in the Golden State?
Well, those on the streets and their service providers see this move out of California as a threat and a sign of potential stricter policies to hit Portland. But in reality, the decision by California Governor Gavin Newsom to remove homeless camps has little to no immediate impact on Oregon because of a state law requiring cities to take into account available shelter space if punishing people for sleeping outside. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler is now calling on the state to review that law, telling us today so that Portland can have the tools they, quote, truly need to manage public camping. Here's Representative Pam Marsh, who's behind that law.
And I think that bill really acknowledged that, yes, cities need to be able to take some control and have some regulatory ability to manage health and safety issues. And we have people on the street who, in many cases, have no place to go.
Well, this is America. Isn't this our country? Like, we should be able to camp where we want to.
Now, we're still waiting to hear back from Governor Tina Kotek on her response to California's decision to see if it will impact anything here in Oregon. But last month, on the heels of that Supreme Court ruling, she appeared unlikely to push anyone to make changes to that state law around homeless camping. Instead, she said her priority is building more affordable housing. Back to you.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what other changes come out of that ruling. Thank you, Blair. Now we want to get to some breaking news in the Hazeldale area of Clark County. Several homes around Columbia River High School have been evacuated for a gas leak. Firefighters say people smelled gas as far as 11 blocks away. It appears a contractor working on a water line project accidentally punctured a major gas line around 4 o'clock this afternoon. 99th Street will likely be closed in front of the high school for a few hours. We're checking with Northwest Natural to see if they have a better time frame for when the leak should be fixed.
We'll keep you posted on that. Well, straight ahead at 6, counting down to the Summer Olympics in Paris with less than 17 hours to go until the big show. That's it.